Hello and welcome to the Innerswim YouTube yoga channel. I am Jaylyn and I have a Well Women yoga therapy mini session for you today. So just a lovely little sequence to energize your womb space, generate good energy flow through the hips and the pelvic space, and just in general help you feel really, really good. So all you'll need is a little bit of space to practice in, and we're going to begin on our backs. So when you're ready, come to sit on your seat, plant your feet, maybe hold the back of your thighs, and just really slowly and carefully roll down onto your back. We're going to start with the feet planted about hip width apart, so just a little bit of space there between the feet. We're going to rest the hands on the lower belly. And we'll start with some really lovely pelvic tilts. So we're going to rock the pelvis forward a little bit toward the heels, increasing this arch of the spine away from the mat. And then we'll tip the pelvis back, rocking toward the head, scooping the belly in a little bit and closing that space. So it's a tiny movement. We're going to rock forward and breathe in. And rock back as you breathe out. Adding on some hands here. As you inhale, the pelvis rocks forward, the spine lifts away from the mat, and the hands lift away together. And as you breathe out, the low back connects with the earth. The hands return to the belly as you pull that fresh energy into the womb space. So just like that, you breathe in, open to gather and receive. And as you breathe out, you pull that energy into the womb space, fresh prana, fresh energy. So with your breath now, let this feel like a luxurious movement, a nice rhythm and flow with your own breath. And so with this sequence and all the sequences we'll do today, it's not about how they look. It's not about alignment. It's not about anything like that. It's all about connecting with your body, with movement, breath, and intention. So maybe having a little flare with the wrists as you go out, the outer wrists lead the way, and then the hands and fingers follow, opening to receive. And then the inner wrists lead the way back in, and followed by the palms and the fingers. So just finding this beautiful flow with yourself, with your body. And feel free to continue with this really sweet, subtle movement. Or you might like to expand the movement now. We can bring the feet together, feet touching, hands start on the lower belly. And now as you inhale, the knees open up as the arms reach overhead. And as you exhale, the knees draw back together and the palms return to the lower belly. So with your breath, you inhale and open like a blossoming flower. And you exhale and close like a flower, bud, or a seed. And as you breathe, you help to create that good energy flow through the breath and the movements. You're circulating prana through the hips and around the pelvis here, and drawing all of our awareness toward the womb space. And these movements can be as large or as small as you like. Let's do a couple more. Breathing to receive and breathing out to come back to that comforting little sense of containment. Beautiful. Now let's keep the hands resting on the lower belly and open the knees with the soles of the feet together for a few breaths here. The index fingers and thumbs can form a downward pointed triangle over the womb space. Breathing into your palms, into that space, maybe up toward your heart. Maybe a little smile on your lips as you feel how it is to breathe and allow that breath to just flow. Now from here, we'll draw the knees back together and hug them in toward your chest. So give yourself a nice hug. You might enjoy rocking side to side. Maybe placing one hand on either knee and drawing circles with your knees in space, giving that lower back and sacrum a nice little massage. And if you're circling those knees around, let's reverse the circles, other way. So lots of lovely circular movements, wave-like movements, all guided and nourished by your breath rhythm. When you're ready, bring the knees back into the chest and just roll yourself over onto your side and gently pick yourself up. We'll come to a seated position. I'm going to flip around. So we'll come into a mermaid seat. Let's start with the left leg forward, left shin forward, and the right shin kind of wraps back around. So your right foot might even wrap around your right hip there. If you'd like to sit on a cushion, you can, but don't worry if your hips are a little bit lopsided here. That's totally fine. Just have a nice seat on that left side. We'll ground the hands on the knees here. Lengthen up through the spine and release down through this mermaid seat. Now we'll move through some nice flowing, kind of cat and cow like movements, arching and rounding the spine here in this seat. So we'll arch the spine forward. The pelvis tips forward like you're pouring a bowl of water in that space between your legs. The spine gently arches forward. The heart lifts and the gaze goes up. And then from the pelvis, we start to tuck the pelvis under, scooping the belly in a little bit, rounding the back, Shoulder blades round and spread apart in the head, tips down. When we inhale, as we arch the spine forward, lifting and opening up. And as you exhale from the pelvis, you start to round and curl back into yourself. So just like this with your breath, inhaling and exhaling back. And your legs are heavy on the earth here. That front foot connected to the knee, perhaps. When you're breathing, we try to make these movements as fluid, as water-like as they can be. We'll do a couple more. Beautiful. And now just come to sit with your shoulders over your hips. And we're going to take this into a little bit of a rotation now. So press into that right shin, lift the right buttock, the right glute off of the floor and kind of squeeze it in tight. And you can turn your chest open as you support yourself with your fingers and spiral out and back. And then we return, sitting forward. So as you inhale, we're going to spiral up and out. And exhale, return. Nice. Pressing into that shin, we spiral out and up. And exhale to return. Nice. With your breath. And don't worry if the movements feel small today, that's totally fine. They can be as small and subtle or big and luxurious as you like. And let's just do a couple more of these. Ah, and then sitting back to your center. We're going to walk the hands forward and just step that left foot back, coming into a tabletop pose. So on your hands and your knees here. The knees are going to be a little bit wider than the hips. Maybe the big toes touch. And we're going to circle the knees, or the hips, sorry, all the way around here. Drawing a big circle back toward the heels and forward toward the wrists. We exhale back toward the heels and inhale forward toward the wrists. And just relax your jaw here. Relax your head. Soften your elbows. And let your legs and hands hold you here. Moving with your breath. And let's reverse this now. So exhaling back toward the heels and the other way. Inhale forward toward the wrists. Whew. This one simple movement is so good to release stagnant energy out of the hips and the pelvis and the lower spine and even the shoulders. So these areas where we tend to lock up or tense up. Oh, feel free to breathe out through the mouth if there's tension or heat. And let's do 1 or 2 more circles. Nice. And then just circle yourself back into the center. We're going to do that mermaid seat on the other side. So just draw your right shin forward now. Have a sit on that right hip. Then your left knee comes forward to connect with your foot. That left foot kind of wraps around your hip, creating this little zigzag seat, or what we call mermaid. Hands rest on the knees, just settling into your seat. And when you're ready, with your breath, we'll inhale, tip the pelvis forward, arching the spine, opening the throat. As you exhale, tip the pelvis under and back, scoop the belly round between the shoulder blades, looking down. So with your breath, find your rhythm with the movement. And feel yourself moving like a wave. One part of the movement just flowing into the next. All of this fluid movement is possible when you are grounded in your connection to the earth. So when you have a steady connection through your legs, then you feel light and supported and able to flow through the rest of the body. And that goes for all of life. You feel connected, grounded, and supported, then there's flow. Without the supports, no flow. We're practicing that here, feeling into that, in with your body, feel that connection, and feel the flow. Breath nourishing every part of the movement, and cleansing too, with every exhale. Let's do a couple more of these. This is so good too if you often get a little locked up in those SI joints, those little joints at the back of the pelvis. Whew. And it also creates stability too. A lot of these movements are both for mobility, flow, and stability, strength at the same time. Good. Now let's just come to sit with the shoulders right over the hips, and we'll spiral out and around. So ground through that left shin, start to spiral your chest open to the right. Fingertips support you, and maybe you look back behind you. And we exhale, return back to the center. We inhale and open and spiral out. We exhale and return. Nice. Inhale to spiral out. Don't forget to give that left glute a little squeeze. And exhale, return. Whew. With your breath, take this to whatever degree feels good in your body. This is all meant to be very supportive and nourishing, not stressful. If you feel yourself getting a little agitated, just back up a little bit and find a flow. Let's do a couple more. Press into that shin. You're doing so good. If you've made it this far, your hips, your pelvis, and your womb space are thanking you. Let's come back through center. And again, we'll walk the hands forward. We'll kick the right shin back and come back into your tabletop position, all fours. We're going to draw those big hip circles now, or maybe little hip circles. So all the way around toward your wrists and all the way back toward your heels. The knees can go as wide as you like here. And we inhale forward and exhale back, letting the head relax, the elbows soften. Ooh. Maybe breathing out through the mouth again if there's tension, or if you just feel like you're releasing a little something, maybe a big something. Beautiful. I find in this sequence, this is when I get all my little pops and cracks out of the hips and the lower spine. So good for realigning any imbalances. The circular motion creates flow and balance because all parts of the movement are connected. It connects all the different parts of the body. So let's slow it right down now and reverse, other way. Take this at the pace of your breath, no slower and no faster. And if there are any areas of stickiness in the hips, know that that is okay. And just take your time. Try to smooth out those sticky areas. And just bring a little awareness to them as you move. Beautiful. Let's do a couple more. And circling all the way back to your center. And now let's have a sit back onto the heels, keeping the knees nice and wide in a Shakti Vajrasana. Big toes touch. Hands can rest on your knees. They can rest forming a downward pointed triangle over your lower belly womb space. Or you can bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. And we'll just pause here and settle. Breathing into your palms. Finding a little bit of stillness. Now, after all of that lovely flow, now coming through a pose of surrender. To close our practice, let's walk the hands forward. Melt the forehead right onto the earth if possible, or maybe onto your hands or onto a book or a block. Your child's pose. Pose of surrender to finish this practice. Relax your eyes, your shoulders, all around your hips and your belly. Enjoying a few quiet breaths here. Feeling your connection to the earth and that lovely sense of support. Knowing that you are resourced and nourished by the earth. and all unfolds in perfect timing. When you're ready, let's slowly walk the hands back and lift yourself back to sit. So finding a comfortable seat here to close our practice, any seat, maybe cross-legged or staying in that Shakti Vajrasana. Let's close with a little heart womb mudra meditation, just a few breaths. We'll inhale with hands together in front of the heart. As you exhale, open your hands to form that downward pointed triangle and slide your hands down over the belly. And as you inhale, we bring that energy from below up to the heart. And as you exhale, from heart down over the belly, womb space. And a couple more with your breath, inhaling to lift. Exhaling to bring that energy from your heart down to your womb space. Let me close with the hands in front of the heart, or maybe one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Closing down the eyes. I invite you to bow your head here and just kind of hug in and curl in, giving yourself a little squeeze and a little touch. And a note of gratitude for spending this time with yourself, breathing, moving, and connecting. So thank you so much, lovely one, for being with me through this practice. Jema, thank you. And if you're interested in connecting more with your womb or your menstrual cycle, feminine wisdom, womb wisdom, definitely visit my website, Innerswim.com. I host a Wisdom of the Cycle mentorship program, as well as one-on-one intuitive sessions where we can dive a little deeper into your personal experience. And this is when the wisdom really comes to light. So I hope that this practice has been really nourishing and feel good for you. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it, share it with a friend or a loved one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.